Comes to covering prep sports, you gotta have a plan.
Put the four fastest guys out there and tell them to run faster than everybody else.
Grab a good seat. The High School Sports Insider hits the ground running.
We have the leg and we got the speed to do it.
Now,
if you ain't first, you're last.
Hello and welcome to the High School Sports Insider on Sports Time Ohio. For the next half hour, we'll take an in-depth look at some of the best prep sports in Northern Ohio. Along with Bill Baranke, I'm Dave Bacon.
This time of year, it's survival of the fittest, so we're dropping our Doritos and continuing down the road to the state championships. Tonight, we pull over to catch some baseball, softball, tennis, and even take a look at an area quarterback who looks to be a driving force in the Big Ten.
The Cleveland Heights Tigers are expected to be contenders for the Division I State Track Championship in Columbus in a couple of weeks. Track is mostly an individual sport except where the relays are concerned. The 4x800 over at Heights is reaching all kinds of new heights. The Tigers have their eyes set on making history. We shine our spotlight on a group of Tigers who are feared by the running world.
Their goals are lofty.
We hope to be the first Ohio team to break 740. We're going to try to do that. It's a lofty goal, but we think we have the leg and we got the speed to do it.
If these Tigers can reach that feat, they'll have done it the old-fashioned way, with hard work.
These kids came through a developmental process. They didn't come here as superstars. They weren't handpicked. These kids were middle school kids from our neighborhood here. They came as very, very average athletes with very, very above average expectations of self.
Of course, plenty of thought goes into putting together a championship caliber relay team.
My main strategy is to put the four fastest guys out there and tell them to run faster than everybody else, and hopefully that's enough to win.
Don't go away from what works. But in the highly individualized sport of track, a relay is one of the only times team comes into play. Dante Cowsill runs the leadoff leg.
Knowing in track and field that there's a no false start rule, if a person was to be a little jittery and was to false start, then that would have an effect on three other guys. So of course your leadoff runner has to be a guy that has some ice in his veins and that is a person that's very reliable. Also, that's a person that you always want to keep in the race. It's not necessarily that you have to be in the lead, you want to, but you have to know that that leadoff runner is going to keep you in the race.
Matthew Love takes the baton from Cowsill and runs second for the Tigers.
Your second guy is a guy that's a racer. He's the guy that has to go out there, and if he's behind, obviously he has a job to do, catch back up. And if he's ahead, he has another job to do, stay ahead.
Sylvester Watts runs the third 800 meters for Cleveland Heights.
Third runner is the guy that's the maintenance guy. He has to maintain it, and hopefully by the time he gets the baton, he'll be somewhere near the lead pack or maybe in the lead, we're hoping.
And it's Jared Hall's job to run the anchor leg.
Your anchor man, that's the guy that no matter what happens, they know that they have to bring it home. And if they're behind, their job solely get Heights High back where we want them to be, and we're hoping that that's in the lead. And if they're ahead, hey man, just run as hard as you can for your teammates. And that has to be a guy that's a real team-oriented guy that cares more about his team than himself.
This team has put up the fastest time in the state and one of the top times in the country.
We're real confident, but we never want to take anyone lightly. Not at all, We're trying to stay humble and level-headed, We're not getting a big head, and we just want to just take everything in stride.
We always practice finishing, going across the line, that causes milliseconds, and we also work on our form and our arms in the weight room. We do a couple arm drills to get our strength together to finish the races, and a lot of form is the key to running.
But Sylvester Watts, sporting the Russian hat, has found some things other than form come into play.
Kind of my lucky hat, and one meet I wore it and I ran a real good time, so ever since then I've just been wearing this hat.
When a team is performing the way the Tigers 4x800 is this year, you don't mess with success.